Hello everyone, it's Lindsay from the Vintage Button. We are back with this scroll, Use What You Have and You Will Never Want. And I asked in the previous video when I first started that to give me your phrases that are along this line. Like the one in my family is necessity is the mother of invention. That's what my mum used to always say when she was making things work. Because I want to make some bunting for my room using these phrases, so I will use this phrase again, and I think I even might make it out of denim because I've got quite a few jeans, because I like the look of the way the dark denim makes the writing pop, the kind of peachy writing. So we're going to carry on with this today, but I do, in the comments, let me know. I'll show you what I've got. I have got a vintage cotton reel to put this on. But if we're going to line it and stuff, if I start to over embellish it, this is going to very easily get swamped. But I do have some sticks in our kindling in the wood fire downstairs. It's been cold enough in the UK. We've had some really lovely weather. I'm going to be very British now and just talk about the weather. We've had some really lovely weather, but then we had a few really cold days and it wasn't enough to put the central heating on. So we just used the fire. We put the fire back on. It's really blustery and it's cooling down, so we might have a fire tonight. I'll rescue a stick. Okay, so we have that. I've got myriad little bits and pieces on my table. There's bits of scrappy lace and doily. There are these kind of crocheted little flowers which are quite nice. I've got this bird. Now, I did this bird at work in my previous job, and I've been in my current job for nearly 2 years. Well, about 22 months, I'd say. Yeah. So I used to sit at the break time, go and find somewhere quiet, and just make something in the break time that I had that was nothing to do with my job. There's a loud teenager next door playing video games. So anyway, so this little chap needs to find a home, and he can do that. And then there was another little sewn element. Too many things on the desk. There was a little bow as well. I don't know if that's fallen down. No matter. If we find it, we put it on. If we don't, we won't worry. That's how we're rolling. There are some yo-yos, but we might make some yo-yos that are smaller. I'm feeling like I like this material to make yo-yos with that are smaller. So it's just about embellishment today. I've also got this, which I'm not really thinking the big ones, although the big ones might look nice actually. I don't know. Should we start with cutting these out? Let's do that and then we'll work out where we are from there. So, how are you all? I hope you're okay. Hope you've had lovely weekends. I met up with somebody quickly yesterday for a cup of tea and a chat about doing a crafty meetup in Suffolk. The venue's quite small. I think they probably could only fit 8 of us at the very most. But still, you're welcome to come along. And I'll post where it is. And if you're in Suffolk, I know the likelihood of people who watch me who are in Suffolk is Fiona, who I met, and Fiona, who I met. So, but yeah, I will post it. So it's in a charity shop. I've done a couple of hauls, and I actually ended up buying. I didn't intend on buying anything, but I walked around, and there was some nice storage bits when I went and had a rummage. And I thought, okay, there were some nice storage bits. It's a nice new charity shop. It's only been there. It's not been there a year. Had a chat with the person who runs the charity shop and the charity that they do. About worky things, seeing if my charity can do a little bit to help out. I'm talking to my manager about that. It's a really good charity. I like that. Okay, I have a shorter one on that end. but I do like that. Okay, so we've got that. We definitely have the bird. Are we having the bird on the very end? Do we want a mixture of things? I mean, it can be as simple or as complicated as you want to make it, really. I know lots of people put lots and lots of layers of things, and I like the idea of it. I just don't know if I'd be any good at the execution of it. Just because I'm like that. I don't know. That feels a bit much. I don't know. Perhaps not that. I'll put these on. Backgroundy. Possibility. I could cut more of these out. And do some little yo-yos. I mean, that feels actually... You see, they've never been used, but they're a bit stained up. They were, I got a full set of them for like £10 from, there's a place near my hometown called Bygone Times. I've mentioned it lots of times. And it's like 3 massive warehouses full of vintage and antique stuff, basically, ranging from like large pieces of furniture to tiny bits of paper, which I like. I know my daughter likes the vintage clothes, so she always tries to find something. She'll come to that with me when we're up north, and my mum likes to go. She just loves a route around a look. She doesn't buy anything, she just looks at stuff and tells you what it was for. And we pop her in a wheelchair for that one, just for the pain in her knees, so she doesn't, because she's probably quite capable of walking around, but the pain would take away the enjoyment of it. Okay, now I think that's too wide, so we're gonna have to I don't know if I want to cut this blue off. We could probably reseat it somewhere else. I don't know. What do we think? What are we thinking? It's the decisions that take the time. And there is such a thing as decision fatigue, where you just like, you have too many decisions to make. I quite like the idea of that. Okay, I think we're going to be swamping that. I am going to have to find a stick. But I like that. That is good. I think a scrap of this. This is not the way I thought it was going to work out at all. But I like that. This was quite a big doily, and it's been cut down and cut down and cut down. I made, actually, can I reach it? Where is it? Shall I show you? Because she'll never see, because I don't think she'll ever watch this video. But I don't know if you remember, if you watch all my videos, you might have remembered I bought some postcards from Risley Barnes, and there was one from Swanage in it, and I said that there was another YouTuber who's just moved to Swanage. So I thought, well, I'll make her a bit of vintage button goodness. That's what I thought I would do. when I cut these out, I will show you. Just don't want to get in the way. So, I made one of my rosettes. Doesn't that look lovely? It's very sweet. It's got a vintage button label on the back. So I'm going to send that off with a postcard, just because I think it would be a nice thing. I think if nice things pop in your head, do them. You might. I don't expect anything back. I might get something back. I might get a hello on the video, but that doesn't matter. I think the thought of making somebody smile, that they get a little surprise through the post. That is how we want it, isn't it? Let's get some pins in this. I was thinking about like summer makes, so we will start the bunting. And I want to start those nesting dolls with those buttons, but I think that might take a while because I want them to be quite intricate, and I need to think through what I want to do really. Oh, it's starched, that material, so it's a bit difficult to put a pin through. So I've got this little chap who's very cute. Put him in the middle. I think I like him for thought of him on the end, because then he'll be on the outside and it'll be stuck on the inside. I'm sure he doesn't know or doesn't mind. So yeah, you can see I use the bits of doily. The bits of doily. There. So yeah, so I've put some chicken in the oven. So we're going to have a chicken tray bake, basically. I'll do some new potatoes in a bit when I've done this video. Because it's Jersey Royal season. So Jersey Royal season is like I'm sure you have it wherever you are, where there's certain fruit and vegetables that are in season. And so they're all in the shops. So Jersey Royals are really tiny little. They just taste like summer, little tiny potatoes that taste like summer. So we'll have some of those. Yeah, it'll take a while, I think, for the chicken to do. And then, but it doesn't matter. I like that. Okay, so we're going to sort of replicate it on this side. Need to work out, so my stick is probably going to be a little bit thinner than that, but it doesn't matter. In fact, it doesn't matter full stop, because I can always make this bit longer. So I just have to decide how long I want. Sorry, you can hear my computer starting up because I've touched it. I was watching a video before I started. I was watching somebody make a lampshade over, because I've got a lamp to do. That's another summer job. In fact, I've got two lamps. There's one still in the garage, and it's a bit modern, so I've got to make that one match whatever I do. So I'm kind of thinking I need to get him to rescue that, actually. Okay, so let's do a little measure. About 12 centimetres. Okay, whatever we do is 12 centimetres. Doesn't have to be exactly the same, and we will use the bits and pieces. I think I want to use similar materials, but we can have an extra flower because we don't have a bird. So let's do that. No, oh. Let's do that. No, I don't like that either. and then the lace in between. You can't beat a little bit of doily, can you? These things are not expensive in charity shops, thrift stores. They're generally in a bundle for a couple of quid. I keep saying that's another job I've got to do, is paint on some of them and get some different colours, because that'll be nice. I've got some border anglaise material in a peachy colour that I need to sort of cut down. It was a top, and then I'm going to go through my own clothes actually, and I think, because I know I've got a navy blue dress that I won't wear anymore, it's too old and worn out, but there's enough material. I think I cut that too short. Let's see. I can hear my husband laughing outside. He is working on insulating his garage to make it into like a garden office, like a workshop garden office, and basically turning it into a proper room, which hopefully when the house is revalued next year, because we haven't done any of the other things, I need to get some windows replaced and splash a bit of paint round. It'll add some value to the house, which will make the deposit larger and the mortgage deal better. All of that, because the interest rates are not fun. And somebody's going to university. It's all happening. All happening next year. I've still not got funding from the DWP for my work. Not proper. We're given a year. But that'll work out. Oh, bent a pin. Need some shorter ones, I think. I'll have a bit more strength. Oh, that looks a bit fat. Oh, no, that is going to work. Yeah. We'll have to see. Oh, I know it'll all work out, because things generally do. Things generally do. I'm annoyed I bent that pin, but most of my pins are about 20 years old, so I shouldn't complain really. Or if they're not 20 years old, I don't know how old they are, because I've found they've been like, when I've bought stuff from a charity shop, there's always been a box of pins or a pin cushion or a needle book that's got pins in rather than needles. They'll just get put. All that, I think that's from a shirt really. They'll just get put in the same places. They work. There we go. Should we start stitching? Do one end and see. Now, what colour do I want to go? I kind of want to go with a not obvious colour, because I could like go. I've got like greens and stuff. I think I want to go with a purple. Yeah, it doesn't have to be, like it doesn't have to match. Or I could go with like a grey or a blue to get things to blend, but I actually think I want little flashes of colour. Now I had a needle. I do have a needle book somewhere. Oh, there's a needle. The craft room is a little bit messy. Hiccup. It's a little bit messy. I've got a big project on the go for work where I'm going to do like a craft workshop, so I have things I've got to make every day, just sort of so that I will have some time. Actually, I need to block that out in my calendar. I'll do that tomorrow. To do some preparation. which I probably will do, to make some bits and pieces up. So they're going to have 3 activities to do, and they'll have a little gift as well, and a gift bag, so that they can, if they don't finish what they need to do, they can like fill it with bits of ephemera. Because I have quite a bit of ephemera. What have I managed to do there? Have I managed to... Well, that's a first. I didn't notice that. I don't like wasting thread, Lindsay. Yeah, so I'm kind of... I've got that on the go. I've got a new design team project on the go, so I've been printing all morning. And then I fell down a crafting rabbit hole because I thought today, it's 1st of June, I should just print it out, decide on what I'm going to do, have a look at... I've got like lots of bases of junk journals that I've already started. I was like, decide on a base, and then you're not having to make something from scratch. And I found this, sorry for knocking the camera, I found this amazing little, I'll show it to you. I will make a book out of anything, and I remember I had a calendar at my previous job. Have I done the same thing? I have. Only putting 1 thread in. I had a calendar on my little office wall. I had a little tiny office that listed all the happenings that were happening in this job that I did. And I used to plan on it. It was nice. And I brought it back with me when I left. It was an old calendar, and I kept it there just for ideas, but I brought it back with me. Let me just show you. So I just used the very end. In fact, it was a lot wider. It was double this, and so I snipped it in half, and then I used the stubs to sort of fix the pages on. And so the pages are 2 layers of like cardboard, like children's card book pages from the 30s. And then I've started, so this is her design team project. So I kind of fell down. I keep knocking this camera. I just fell down this rabbit hole. And I was like, oh. And I looked up and it was like 4 hours later. It's a nice thing to do, to fall down that type of a rabbit hole. But I'd planned to do some more slow stitching, but I'd been making that thing, so I'd done a lot of slow stitching and not as much junk journaling. So I was like, oh, okay, obviously my brain needed some junk journaling. And there are things about, like, there's decisions, so that occupies sort of your brain. Like we've just had, like, making decisions about where we're going to put what. And then in junk journaling, there's things like this. So this is kind of like a repetitive action we're doing now. And it all sort of soothes your brain, repetitive actions. And there was quite a bit of, like, I decided to do these backgrounds with my Posca pens. Just simple mark making. What is that flower doing? And I just got lost in it, really. But like I said, that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. Not complaining. Okay, I'm just going to do a couple of stitches. Shot. See, I like when the camera's really overhead, I feel like I'm leaning over and it hurts my back, so that's why I'm doing this kind of camera angle. And my back is sore a little bit, but it's alright. It's nowhere near as bad as it used to get. Because I'm not sort of trying to... My natural reaction when I'm sewing is to bring things really close, and so I can sort of semi bring it close. Really, when I'm slow stitching normally, I am sat on the sofa with my like craft bag in front of me, and I've got an interesting program on, and I just sort of stitch away, listen to either a history program or a podcast or something like that, just sort of like while away the time. I'm gonna have to try and find my... Oh, I might have to. I don't think they're still in that thing. Managed it. What's happening here? Yeah, so there's lots of little bits and pieces going on. I have a swap that I'm involved in that hopefully will be given our swap partners, because I've finished the journal and I've done a flip through of that journal. It's all on the other... I've got 2 YouTube phones, and I've even done a video about packing bits and pieces up, you know, like a happy mail, making your happy mails attractive. That. Then back to work. Back to work. I need to book some summer holidays. Can't believe we're like in June, halfway through the year. It doesn't seem 2 minutes since I took my Christmas decorations down. Let's do this one. Do you watch K3N Cloth Tales? I don't watch all of her videos, and I haven't watched this one yet, but I saw an advert for it. Well, an advert, you know, you see the thumbnail comes up, and it was making like this triangle bag, and I was like, oh, see, I'm all about triangles with a bunting and this. I'm even thinking of making some junk journal type bunting. I don't want to get stabbed. So yeah. Oh, don't like that. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. Trying to catch it. There's just a little bit of in between the actual... It's just a little bit of cloth that would be easier to go through and still hold it down. So that's what we're doing. Okay. Yeah, so this bag, it's like a triangle rice bag. And I have an idea of doing a rice... It might not be a rice bag. I'll have to go and find it. It's downstairs. It's what we have in our drawers in the kitchen that holds our cloth napkins. And it's something that Miles's grandma made in South Africa. I can picture her sitting there sewing it actually. So yeah, so just sort of, it's like a rice bag, but I think it's round, I don't think it's square. But it's got rings on the top to hold, and I've got a few brass rings, the plastic rings on the top of the one that Mum did. But, yeah, there's like these kind of... This is going to get difficult. Do that. Will you pull through though? Oh, will I need those? think they've fallen out of here when I was doing the Vivi thing. I don't know where they'll be. Have some little pliers, is that the best way? Oh, it's come through. For pulling your needle through. Oh, I like the little flash of purple. And your stitches don't have to be perfect, you know. My stitches are seldom perfect. I mean, you try and keep it neat, but, you know, it doesn't have to be. It does have to be enjoyable. It does have to be that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I don't like perfection. That's it, definitely on that bunting I want some sort of saying about no perfection in this house. Perfection becomes like a barrier. I mean, we're not a neurotypical house. Miles has got ADHD and Lily probably has. Although not as much, actually. But, this, you know, and I think I have a little bit. I'm not as bad, but if I think, oh, I can't do it perfectly, I won't, you know, not try and do it. And it's certainly a barrier. You have to sort of talk yourself around. No, it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, things look a little bit better, particularly like this type of thing, if it's not perfect. So, I love these flowers. I might have to have a go just making them. I mean, they're so simple. It's not even like a French knot. It's just 3 stitches for the centre. And a blanket stitch around the outside, and it's starched cotton. You can tell it's starched. It feels very stiff. That's why the needle is having a little bit of a problem with it. And when I finish this off, we're going to sew the lace on because that'll be much easier. We'll change colours. We'll just have all colours. That'll be nice. So it looks like a set that somebody's bought when they were on holiday, the box it came in. They bought it when they were on holiday and then they never used it. I have a set of wine glasses that I got from Venice because we went on honeymoon to Venice. Yeah, that wasn't it. And I do use them. They get used at Christmas. They don't get used often enough. When my husband is not in my dining room anymore, so that's another good thing about him turning the garage into a garden office, because his office space is in the dining room. And we do eat at the table on occasion, but it's a bit of a faff because we've got to get everything out and put everything away. Whereas when it's just out, it'll get used. It's a lot easier going through one layer. So I think this script roll is about kind of like not worrying about your stuff that you have, finding the bits. Now, I will think that like this stuff is quite nice stuff that I've been collecting for a long time, but there are, you know, like it is still limited to a few things. Let's put that under there. I'm gonna sew that on next. Let's do that now. It is limited to a few things, and I think you're a bit more creative when you limit yourself. And I think you're a bit more creative when you don't run to the shops. You think, well, what do I have? What can I use? It kind of forces you to be creative. They say that, like artists say that about, that's why they have a certain palette. They'll choose just like a certain palette of colours. Just need to readjust my seat. They'll choose a certain palette of colours for them to work in, and that increases their creativity. So basically, that's what I want to do. And I think slow stitching really lends itself to that. So you're not going out buying a load of resources, you're just using the stuff you have. Or you might, treasure hunting might become a passion. But it doesn't have to be an expensive passion. Right, what colour am I going to have next? Do I want pink? Do I want that teal? Yeah, I do want that teal. I can smell my dinner cooking, which is nice. Where are we up to time-wise? We will do this bit of lace and then I will go and finish dinner. I like the routine of there always being a Sunday slow stitch. I filmed a video yesterday, a junk journal one, and it just wouldn't load up, and I'm hoping, I have 2 phones that I film YouTube on. I'm hoping there's not something wrong with that phone, because there's quite a few YouTube videos filmed on it, because it has much more storage than this one. This is the trusty original one. It's my old Google Pixel that used to be my brand new Google Pixel, and on the first day that I had it, I dropped it and I broke the screen. And it's still a little bit broken, the screen. So we put a screen protector over the top of it, but I just didn't feel confident taking it out. And it wasn't covered by any insurance and stuff at the time. So what we decided to do was buy an indestructible phone for me, because I think at that point I'd gone through, this is why it wasn't insured, I'd gone through about 3 phones in 3 months, just being a klutz. So what we decided, there's not going to be very big stitches in this teal, I'll have to do some big stitches. I'll tack it and then I'll do some big stitches down somewhere. So I bought a Nokia Bullet. This is it. This, and it is literally destructive. It's dust, water and drop proof. And you know what? I have put that thing through its paces, and yeah, it's absolutely fine. I'm terrible with phones, even my work phone. I try to be really good with my work phone because it's not mine, obviously. I don't want to have a reputation for just wrecking phones, but yeah. I might put a button on the. Do you think we need to put a button on the birdie? I think, yeah, we could put a button on his tummy, couldn't we? So I'll find a stick to roll it up, and then we'll see how we get on with it. I do think, because I lose interest in things, so when the pretty bit's gone, I'll try and put a backing on it, but I might just go, okay, that's finished, and it's not really. But I think, because if I was giving it away, I probably would, or if I was selling it, but because I'm just sort of making things for my own collection, I don't mind if there's not a nice lining on the back. It's not important to me at all. That's alright, that bit of puckering. We can sort that out now. Let's do some stitches along. Just using my lovely back stitch, but sort of loosely. I do love a back stitch. I'm going off the camera there. Lots of layers. Isn't it amazing? So it's 41 minutes, and really we haven't got very far, but that's the whole point of slow stitching. We've made some decisions, and what I'll do is I'll continue to work on this rather than this will be my main project. I still got my bag to focus on, and then there will be other things getting thrown in the mix, but I like having more than one project on the go. I can hear my family rousing though around dinner, so I need to go and put those potatoes on. Here we go. Nearly there. I'm going quiet. But then, I don't know if we need to talk. Sometimes I'm very talkative. And I think, oh, you did too much talking on that video. And other times, I just want to do the stitching. You'll have to let me know. You will have to let me know. That off, and then we'll have a look, and then I'll get another colour in, and we'll just do lots of different colours, because I do have, using what I have, that's one thing that I do have, is I have lots of colours, so I'm going to use them. So using what you have doesn't, I think it's not about lack, is it? Thinking about, and this is what I like about these kind of like saying scrolls, scripture, if you do that sort of thing, you know, whatever you write on it, you're thinking about that phrase, that word all the time. It kind of becomes something that you dwell on, meditate on, and have a sense that it can mean different things, because, you know, it's a saying that comes out of thrift. Does mean you can use an abundance of things, like, you know, I have got lots and lots and lots of coloured cottons. That's one of the things I've collected over lots and lots of years. You might have a lot of pairs of jeans. There might be lots of things. You might have a lot of time. You might like lots of stitching. There's lots of ways of looking at it. See, how many times can I say lots? I don't know. I do think some sort of buttonage for the little birdie to represent like almost like a robin redbreast, but it's too big. It's probably alright. We'll see. So that's how far we've got today. We've made some decisions. We've actually started to stitch on. Don't know what I'm going to do about this bit. This bit might get cut off, or it might get sort of tacked down. I don't know. But we have got this bit at this end. I don't know if that's too spread out. I don't know. We'll have to see how big the stick is that I find. It should be alright. It should be alright. But that's it. So I hope you've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. I will be back. I've got those videos. So I'll be back soon-ish. If it's not tomorrow, it'll be Tuesday. With junk journaling things. And there'll be more slow stitch in the week. I might either do this, or I might have a go at the bag, or I might start to play with this idea. So I've put a little bit of my junk journal snippet bit out of a magazine that I've backed onto a bit of vintage book page. So that's sort of to remind me the sort of thing that I want to do, which is some nesting dolls. But I think they'll be a lot bigger. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I've got some ideas, but we might have a play with that. And the bunting, of course. We might cut bunting out. I don't know. Too many ideas and not enough time. But I will see you soon. Bye bye.